Hey everyone, this is Vampyreq, and right now you don't see me in the bottom left because I decided that I need to take a break from setting up and tearing down the green screen setup. So today I'm gonna take it a little bit easy on myself. So no webcam today, and right now I'm just gonna mute my mic and we'll jump right into the review critique of this animation. So let me change the volume settings. I'm just a little bit out of it today. I can feel that my body is fighting some foreign bodies. So yeah, things might be a little bit slow for today. And give me a sec. Okay, we should be back, and then I'm gonna put myself on mute and play the video right away. Put
another. Fight.
Okay, so let's get into it. The Star Wars animated shots, the cinematics, I don't think there's a lot to critique them about, but let's do it anyway. So right here we are thrown right into the action. We don't know what the heck is going on, and then comes a sort of like a match cut that very likely is in the past, because you see the same woman with a child, and then they spend some time together, and obviously it's quite evident that these are mother and daughter. So here we can see that the girl is actually quite adept at the Force, and then for some reason the mother wants the girl to not to use the Force but to actually physically play with the toy, and the girl is apparently bored with it. All this I think is establishing the story, the arc, quite well, and there isn't really much to talk about. Yeah, so like even you see the hand motion, like placing on the girl's hand to the toy, it's just nicely done. You don't have all the fingers land together. They start from different position as well, so they land all differently. And then as the girl's hand lands on a toy, and then they bounce up as well as the mother's grip releases. So we get, I think this bounce is her trying to release it, but then the mom just like presses the finger down, like, no, this is how you play with a toy. This is how you play with it. Okay, and she runs in a very strange way. This is not the girl being retarded or anything, or maybe the animator's doing it wrong, but actually they're showing the girl treating the toy like maybe like a live animal and running along with her facing forwards, hence the very odd running stance exhibited by the girl. And we behold a familiar sight of the eternal twins, and the girl obviously being excited over combat, or more likely the use of the Force, as we see her practicing it here. But I just would like to bring up a little bit of discontinuity. So over here we see the eternal twins practicing the fights, and this is the exact same one as we saw in a previous cinematic. Is it Sacrifice? The Knights of the Fallen Empire, I think that's the name, but the name is just like escaping me. And if we recall, oh wait a minute. So how did that scene go? That means you remember when the black brother helped the one in white up, they did it left hand. Oh no, they did it right hand. So black will extend the hand this way, and white will extend his hand this way. And at the end of it, black turn left and white turn right to look at the so-called father figure. But over here we don't really see the father figure, is absent. So a little bit of discontinuity. I think maybe we can cheat. The animators could have cheated a little bit. Just zoom in a little. Just a little bit more and tip the camera down a little bit more, such that this gap is absent. Then we won't get the idea that perhaps this scene is from the wrong angle. Like there needs to be that father figure here, around here somewhere. So this is just one thing that I caught that has a bit of discontinuity issue from the last animated shot. So nothing wrong here. Being disappointed, like her force is not doing anything. Being a little bit cheeky, thinking she can sneak using the force. It's just that this here, her hand is a little too weak, because you look at it, the way she spins the body relative to her hand motion. Okay, just focus on her hand and notice the positional change over the frames of her hand. Just look at the left hand, not a lot of changes, and then it slows down here where she starts to exert the force. Not a whole lot of positional difference. The biggest one probably is this one, but it's placed in a very weird time such that you don't see the snappy force that is required. So what I would have want to have seen is this frame, bring the hand closer. So this is the current position. I would want to bring it much lower, maybe even at this position in relative to the last frame. Yep, just maintain the same angle, probably just a bit here versus the what we see here, just a little bit raised. And then here, pull back more, just keep it pull back. And then this frame, maybe you can pull back a little bit more. So this is the original what we're seeing here, and then the hand would be here, somewhere here. Just pull back a little and then start going in for the snap. So you have start slow and then end fast. Bum. So you can feel her exerting the force, and the grunt will match up much better than here, which is, it looks like she's doing a constant sweep of the hand while doing a very expressing a grunt in using her voice. Yeah, you see, it's a very weak attack using the force. Very lame. Is like, obviously you're not going to get anything with that. Likewise with this triple jab thing, feels so weak. This one, this triple one does it much better. The first one is very weak. So you have the first of the triple jab series. That's what I'm talking about. The first one here. What the heck is that? So let's just examine the speed. Raise up, strike forward, moving very constant speed. Not very impressive. So she pulls back, and what? How do you bounce like that? Okay, the finger makes a good motion, but the hand position is just not enough. Look at how bent her arms still is. We can afford to have the arms straighter, even straighter, or have the arms even lower. So her elbow right now is over here. Have it just a bit lower, and then end in the same position as here. So it's a snappier motion. The holding here is fine. 3 frames I think is okay. I think you can cut up to 2 actually. Then recovery. Yeah, the bounces here, she rebounds too quickly. What I want to see is probably 2 frames more of her being in a retracted position. Okay, this is a good one. You see the snap here? Very big positional difference, which will make it stronger. So if you compare the triple jab, you will see the first one being very lame. Okay, so this is about to start the first one. Second one is a little bit better, and the third one is the best, but can be better. Weak, better, good. I won't say perfectly good, I would just say it's good enough. So yeah, examining her work like in awe, like, hey, did I just do that? That's awesome. And over here something weird, why did the hand land so far away? So I think it make much more sense about this critic if you see the end state. So yeah, her end state is there, but she started here. I don't think people will sweep their hand this far to grab an object. They'll land much closer to it. So if you really want to show this sweeping motion, maybe start here in the middle of the screen, go over, grab the pole. I think that will make this look much better, because the travel just looks a little bit too long. Yeah. Or if you yeah, I think the way they ended is fine. But so if you really want to start where they started here, maybe have the grab here, but then I think a grab here and a start here would be better. So these are just some things that I think can be improved, because right now the original hand position is here, and actually starting in the middle of the screen isn't too bad because it's still near the middle. I suppose they're trying to keep to the rule of third thing, because if we split this into a grid, this is, whoa, okay, so where do you think the rule of third would be? The rule of third is gonna be something like this, yeah. So yeah, they're trying to keep to the rule of third, but I think you don't actually have to do it. Do it the hand in the middle might be better, because you already have the legs in the background to hold the attention of the viewers for quite a while. Yeah, we know where we're supposed to be looking at, legs and a pole on the ground. I don't think people will try to look here, because attention will naturally be in the middle of the screen, and then when a hand comes in, coming down from the middle isn't too awkward. Fine. Tired. Yeah, sparring is a hard work, man. It's tough. It's crazy stuff.
Fight.
She's decided not to use physical force, but use the special force. Here we see her going a little bit overboard. The change of emotion here is just so superbly done. The glee, the joy of winning, and then straight down to the fear. Oh man, it's so nicely done. It also shows the state of mind, like what the heck has this girl gone through in this instant, in this 1 second where her emotion went from one extreme to the other extreme, from I want to win, or I've won position, to something of a what have I done kind of a position. Yeah. Suddenly very, how do I put this? You immediately feel like a sort of a connection. You're drawn into a psychology immediately with just this transition of emotions right here. Superbly done. I think this is probably, for me, the best 1 second of this shot right here. And then looking to that fatherly figure for sort of guidance, and then the so-called mother is slowly rising up to, what is he gonna do? What should we do? Kind of stuff. We've got no idea why, but mom got banished. From the pacing of the story, the cinematic, it is very obvious that it has something to do with the sparring incident that this girl Vaylin got involved in. This is some brainwash mojo nonsense. So the cuts here are done using a fade to black, but you can also argue that it is using a large object to obscure the camera and using that blackness to change the scene. Very smooth technique, try and O, as I've mentioned many times already. So definitely make good use of it. And it is a final state, enlightenment. And I just like this part here. How much pressure is she putting into her arm? To have her flesh do this is crazy. Yeah. Even though it is portrayed as a nightmare, you somehow know it has happened. I cannot break down what the magic behind this is. Maybe because it is very unused in the Star Wars environment of a nightmare, or maybe it's because of the Star Wars lore that we have the Force. People can have premonition, they can sort of like tell the future of what's going to happen and stuff like that. Maybe that can explain or justify why we don't think the nightmare is merely a nightmare, but it actually is reality has occurred. So we see her putting on that battle suit thing, and she's obviously traveled back to where she has been banished from. Oh no, the toy! And then now we see the first scene again, so the loop is complete. We have caught up from the past to the present. So timing offset, a very basic animation principle, but I don't. This is a tough one because I surmise that the animators or the storyboard or whoever is the animation lead wants to have the lightsaber activation go from row 1, row 2, and then row 3 activation. So this is what it looks like. Yeah. But actually what I have preferred is if all 6 of them activate at different times. Not really different times, in a random order. Maybe this guy activates first because he's the first one, and maybe this guy is quicker on his fingers, he activates next. Then maybe this guy and this guy activates, no, it's not a good one. And this guy activates almost together, and then you have this one activate, and then the last one activate. Yeah, more of a random order, not by rows. So it's 1, 2, 3 or 4, 3 or 4, then you have 5 and 6. So more random. So you see front activates, back activates, closer to the front activates, middle activates, and the last one. Maybe you can switch these two around. We're not sure, because right now we don't have the assets anymore. I mean, this scene is already rendered, so we don't know how exactly it will look given our suggestions. But I think, oh no, we haven't reached the point.
Stay behind me.
The classic you can have 1,000 men fight a hero and the hero will come out on top. But what is so awesome about this fight is there is no music. Having no music during a fight scene makes it very raw, intense, and very purposeful. And note that she actually does fight in different styles, going with lightsaber kills to hand-to-hand combat, maybe leg-to-face combat if you will, and then she doesn't outright slash the guy in half with a lightsaber. At the end of near the end of the fight, there's one point where she just activates and turns off the lightsaber. I think if I were to reference the Star Wars movie, I don't know which episode this is. I think this is 7, where Kylo Ren and the girl, I forgot the name. Kylo Ren, like the girl, Rey threw the lightsaber to Kylo Ren, and then he activates and turns off the lightsaber to stab the guy behind him. There's just these guards in red that was so lame, that fight. My goodness. Compare that fight to this fight. I will watch this fight 1,000 times over.
Stay behind me.
So that's so she goes for lightsaber first, and then to hand-to-hand combat, leg-to-face combat, and then she just goes like a regular martial art kind of fight. No lightsaber, just using the lightsaber as a weapon without you activating it. And from here, what she threw, I have no idea. And her lightsaber, did it transform or something? Because I could bet there was a certain point in time where her lightsaber looked more like a pole. I think it's past already. Yeah. Yeah, over here. Very long, right? Boom. Oh wow, watching this in slow motion is even more epic. Oh, knee to the chin. Bang. And look, hey, her lightsaber shortened. What? Okay, yeah, she must have some sort of special lightsaber then. Punch. Where did the lightsaber come from? Oh, okay. Let's see, what the heck did she throw? Yeah, then you see these two guys in the background, like, keep your eyes on this guy. What a retard. This is going backwards. Now going forwards. So he wants to go in and he holds back and and then gets kicked. Oh man. So I guess she grabbed something from the guy on the right that is falling down. Wow, she's doing that in order to pull to have an object to throw. Oh, it's extracted here. So here's where she throws, right? Ah, okay. She grabbed it from the guy she's grappling with. Yep, so that's sort of like a breakdown. I would say very nice fight. I especially like the way the lightsaber activated. This one. So the no music thing, I think there's just very little movies that do it. The one movie that comes to mind about no music fighting is the Man Out of Nowhere. I think it's a Korean movie, and I think at the end there's just this part where the guy was fighting without music, and it was just very raw, very epic. And the slow-mo you see in the air is slow-mo, is not the computer lagging. This one where she jumps in the air, yup, that is actually a real slow-mo. It's not a computer lagging or your computer lagging. Because I've watched this about 20 times already, it still lags at the same place, so definitely this is a slow-mo. Vaylin is obviously very brainwashed already. The likely tangent is that her mother is dangerous, murderous. So witnessing this killing, even though it is for her own benefit, confirms her false beliefs. She just cannot internalize that the mother is actually doing it for her. Confirming the false belief that she has been fed for who knows how long her the absence is, the separation is, that the mother is murderous. So yeah, she's not reacting to the invitation from the mother. It's too dangerous, you have to come back with us. It is this scene that I'm a little bit lost, like, where is this place? Because we know that Vaylin's wooden toy is somewhere around here, which was dropped at where the mom got banished from. This lady here, I don't know the name where she got banished from, and then she's coming here, but yet there are these guards or soldiers here that look very similar to the ones where this lady is from. So has there been an attack? We don't know, and this appears to be out in the open, you know. So we don't know who this new adversary is. And apparently her manipulation of the force is very strong, where she can just pull the lightsaber out of the woman's hand. But seeing the mom's face, it tells it all. We know who this new adversary is. it's Vaylin, the girl that she lost. I'm not too big of a fan of the cinematic, actually, but I would just say that it is a well done cinematic. As said in the start, the Star Wars cinematic is just the better done ones, and there isn't a lot to critique, really, because even even with the suggested improvements from me is not present, you can just accept the whole cinematic on its own. It's only just this one Knights of the Eternal Throne, that when Vaylin was practicing that, when she was young and doing this, this part, the hand attack, the hand force is just too weak. Yeah, this is the big improvement that I would like to just critique to point out. This is the only part that I think is the weakest. So comments, questions, let them roll in. If there's nothing, I'll be letting Vaylin stick in her mind. And I'll be bailing. Nothing? If there's nothing, then I'm gonna just end it here. Next week will be the last Star Wars cinematic. Then I'll return to Overwatch 2. I don't think I will do the entire Overwatch cinematic already. Think I will let this series end, and I might do a gaming stream kind of thing thereafter. So yeah, there's no comments or questions coming in, so I'll be what? Yeah, so there's no questions or comments rolling in, so I'll be letting Vaylin sit here and I'll be bailing. So thank you guys for tuning in. I have got 2 concurrent viewers at a point. Don't know who you are. Thanks for the support. But in any case, this video will be available for rewatching. And I'll see you guys next week.